Boys, I was a little let down today. I have actually been holding off on reviewing Trinity Ghoul now for over a week because I wanted to see how Trinity Ghoul would stack with Oathkeeper. Now, shout out to ilrath for letting me get on his account. He actually had the RNG to pull both of these. He has a Twitch channel, so feel free to check him out, guys. His link is in the description below. Let's talk about what's going on here with these two exotics. So the other day, guys, we reviewed Oathkeeper. It comes with the perk Adamantine Brace. Bows charge faster, and charges can be held indefinitely. Now, I was playing with Subtle Calamity, which has a pretty quick charge time to begin with. So I was under the assumption that, hey, I think Oathkeeper's probably speeding up that charge time a little bit, but I probably just can't notice it because that charge time is already pretty quick to begin with. And I mentioned things like Wishender, Trinity Ghoul. Bows that have a much longer charge time will probably benefit greatly from Oathkeeper. I was wrong. Now, first up, let's go over Trinity Ghoul because this is my exotic review for Trinity Ghoul. It fires an arrow that splits when released. Aiming down sights and fully drawing the bow both decreases the spread. It's also got a nice little trait there, Lightning Rod. Precision kills grant the next shot to chain lightning. So first and foremost, yeah, the chaining capabilities, nasty. You don't even have to shoot the enemy. Hit the ground in front of them, around them. That lightning is going to hit your enemies. And if you wanted to spread out a little more, in terms of your shots having more spread to them, then just shoot from your hip. Now, as you see, the crit shot damage is 52 per crit, but it's hitting 3 times, for a total damage of 156 there. Now, body shot wise, it hits 35 per hit, for a total damage of 105. But let's talk about that spread. That spread is nice for PvE. It's great. Hits more enemies, especially once you get chain lightning going. Of course, you want to be aiming down sights on your initial shot. Grab that precision kill, get lightning rod for the second shot, and then literally just shoot from the hip to get that chain lightning on the rest of your enemies. It's wonderful for things like Gambit. I very much liked it. It is not a PvP weapon though. Trinity Ghoul has some great chaining capabilities, but I have a wonderfully rolled Subtle Calamity on my account. And bows are my baby. I like them. They're good. They're nasty. Trinity Ghoul having that spread and that slow drawback time is killing it, which is why even if you land the initial precision shots, the delay in you drawing for that second shot is plenty enough time for your enemy to either kill you or just run away. Now, if I was using something like Subtle Calamity, I would still hit someone for around 150 something, and then I would turn around, halfway charge the next arrow to finish them off. You can't do that here though with Trinity Ghoul because there's so much spread in those 3 shots with it being horizontal that spread will result in only one of those arrows possibly making contact. So for 1v1 scenarios, this is not an option for me, at least not one I would rely on. Now for 6s, for control, for driving people off the points, especially if you can proc Lightning Rod a bunch, yeah, it's a wonderful choice. It does a great job at that. Now, where Oathkeeper comes into this is I thought all of these issues I was having with Trinity Ghoul would be completely rectified by Oathkeepers. That problem of that draw time being too slow on that second shot. And as I was using Oathkeepers with Trinity, I realized that there really wasn't that big of a difference. That base draw time of 820 did not seem any lower or any faster. So this is a private match with just myself, and I'm timing this. And essentially, guys, what you're going to see is me draw my bow back and release it 10 times. The first clip will be with Oathkeepers. The second clip will be without. Now, just firing off one shot is not enough for us to see if Oathkeepers is actually doing anything here. But in the span of 10 shots, we should see if Oathkeepers is actually speeding up that draw time. So I proceeded to shoot my 10 shots. Again, the moment it hit the green, I let go of my arrow. And then I proceeded to do the same thing without Oathkeepers. The conclusion, Oathkeepers does not do anything for our draw time. Now, the time difference you even see there is probably just me not releasing my arrow as soon as it hit green. But given the exotic perk for Oathkeepers, there should be a much wider margin here of time difference. And Trinity Ghoul is the best bow to test this with. Because if you release too soon, those 3 shots in that wall won't be right next to each other. They'll be spread. And so you know when you're releasing too early. So you can't rush it. So this is actually the best bow to test whether Oathkeepers is actually doing anything in terms of speeding up that draw time. So I feel like Oathkeepers, the way I reviewed it the other day, was wrong. Yes, you can hold your shot indefinitely. It doesn't cause screen shake. But in terms of speeding up that draw time, if it actually does anything, it is so small you can't even tell. So overall, guys, Trinity Ghoul is a great bow. for PvE in terms of controlling ads and killing ads. I would not use this weapon as a DPS weapon for major bosses. I would also not rely on this bow that much in PvP. If Oathkeepers though, at some point gets reworked or buffed and it brings that draw time down a bunch, close to subtle calamity range in terms of like 760, then something like Trinity Ghoul could be a very nasty option in PvP. But as of now, this is mainly an ad control weapon. Well fellas, thank you so much for coming and watching, and as always,
slap that like button like your mama told you right.